All right, welcome everybody. Dr. Ben here, F8 Well Centers. We're going to get cranking on a live Q&A. I'm going to go through some, real life health solutions that we go with patients every single day. But I also want you guys asking questions. So click the link down below. You can ask us questions that way. You can type it into the comment section there. You can send us direct messages, ask questions, let us know what you have going on, and I would love to get in depth into what you have going on and give you guys some real answers, some real solutions. What I don't want you to ask is just how much of this I should take, what's the best diet, some of those things, because here's the deal. Everybody's unique, and you need the answers as to what you can be doing to help each individual system, not just what do I need to take, what do I need to what's the one supplement, whatever, but why? Think about this. Why is somebody having these things? So again, welcome everybody. Pop down below. Love seeing you guys all over the country, all over the world. We get to answer questions. We get to talk with people. I'm Dr. Ben Galliard, F8 Well Centers, and we have multiple offices around the country, in Colorado, in Tennessee, and we work remotely with patients all over the place. So here's Gabby. Hello, can doing a cortisol PM instead of AM still be accurate in the blood work? Well, you just have to go along with thinking about what the cortisol rhythm is doing. So cortisol is an adrenal hormone. It's the main adrenal hormone that we check. Adrenaline, all of those things. Hey Nancy, good to see you, and Steve. And so first thing in the morning, that cortisol should be highest, and then it should be lowest at night. So in that thought process, hey Carolyn in Washington, you need to be thinking about, okay, if we check it at 7, 8, 10, something like that in the morning, it should be higher. In the evening, you just need to go, okay, well, odds are, if it's still as high as it should be in the morning, then we actually are flipping that rhythm. So many people have this issue where the adrenaline, the cortisol, it's actually getting higher at night. And so if you're like this, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, anything like that. If you get a second wind, are you getting a second wind where by 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you're like, hey, I can do the laundry, I put the kids to bed, now I've got this second wind? That is not good. You're asking your adrenals to rev up at the wrong time, and you're going to go and do all this work and get this stuff done. But you actually want to be by 8, 9, 10 o'clock winding down and shutting it down. But if you're getting this second wind, that is where there's a lot of major issues coming from. You should have enough oomph to jump out of bed in the morning and enough relaxation, less cortisol in the evening. But so many people are flipped. So if you're having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, if you're getting a second wind, your cortisol is usually flip-flopped, and we've got to do some things for that. So great question. So yes, the PM cortisol is fine to test that way, but we just have to go through and make sure we know what time it was. I'm a new patient, and I want to thank your team. Great experience so far. Town Soldier 9910. Awesome. So glad to hear it. Which office are you going to? So glad to hear it. Give some people a shout out. We love that feedback. So all right. Robbing your attention. I'm a doctor, and I'm also a pilot. Cool. What is the best treatment for gastroparesis, and how does Doparid, not sure, work? Okay, so here's the deal. Best treatment for gastroparesis. And this is crazy. We were just talking about this at our team meeting on Tuesday, and a couple of the people in in the marketing world, or that aren't like intimately involved with hearing people's stories. Gastroparesis is crazy. This is where people are throwing up once a day, multiple times a day, over and over. And for a year or 2 years straight, they're throwing up. And so gastroparesis, a couple thoughts to that. One is, why would the body not want to move things through? Why would it want to actually regurgitate, throw that up? And a couple things that come into it. The vagus nerve, vagal nerve tone is one of those things. The vagus nerve comes off the brainstem, goes down, stimulates the gag reflex. It goes down and stimulates the esophagus and the stomach in that one. And then the small intestine and the large intestine, it's going to move that peristalsis all the way through. And so if we are not moving things like we're supposed to, then the body will say, hey, we might want to just regurgitate that up, push that back up, and vomit there. So that's one of the big things that can happen is we're not moving it through. The other is if we're just really out of balance in that microbiome and it's just irritated, the body's like, I can't digest hardly anything at all, get it out. And so it'll be thrown up that way. So vagal nerve tone, gag, gargle, hum is one of the best ways to deal with that. So you can gag, gargle, hum, get that out, and get that vagal nerve moving through there. Another thing, it's not as much fun, is a coffee retention enema. And so you can Google that. It's basically you hold that coffee enema as long as you can. That stimulates, hey Jerry, good to see you in Fort Morgan. It stimulates that the nicotinic receptors, and then ultimately you're going to start moving it through, stimulating that vagus nerve. So if you've really got gastroparesis, I would look into a coffee retention enema, in addition to giving us a holler, and we can talk to you through a lot of different things there. So oh great, Town Soldier seeing Dr. Jake, awesome. I'll give you a shout next time I see you in the office. So click the link in the bio and schedule a discovery call. You can send us a direct message, anything at all. But we work with patients all over the country, all over the world. We can drop ship blood work anywhere as well. I am from Germany. How do I get the blood work to you once the blood is drawn? So that's we'll have to look into what part of Germany you're in, some different things. And so the only way you can get blood drawn here is by seeing your doctor. Let me look into that one. Send us a direct message or schedule that discovery call. There's certain countries that are easier than others for us to get that blood kit from, but we would still need to see a CBC because some of the blood needs to be tested within 24 hours. So it would probably be over 24 hours to get there, but we would be able to look at that. So yeah, just schedule that discovery call and we can talk through that. Is bone broth good for leaky gut? Beef bone broth, well, you can do beef bone broth, chicken bone broth, you can do fish bone broth, all types of different bone broth. And yes, that is actually one of the better things you can do for leaky gut. If you're still eating poorly, if you still have bad bacteria and yeast and all these different things, then you're not going to be able to just fix your leaky gut by adding in bone broth. But it is a great extra thing that you can do. I drink a glass of bone broth every single day that I am going into the office and doing those things. But here's the deal. You need to then kill off the bad stuff. So you need to go through, kill off bad bacteria, yeast, any type of pathogens. You need to build it up with the good bacteria. You need to take some glutamine, some marshmallow roots, some aloe vera juice. The food allergens, you got to get those out. So there's so many other things that you have to do besides just doing the bone broth. But that's a good place to start. Do you just test ACTH in Addison's, or do you also measure cortisol level too? Yeah, if somebody has Addison's, I would definitely want to see their cortisol level. That's where the adrenals are going a little bit haywire. Charlene, Sjogren's affects dry eyes and dry mouth. What else does it often affect? So that's going to be the big part that we're looking at with Sjogren's. The majority of it is going to be the eyes and the mouth. It's an autoimmune condition, and it is going to have to attack those tissues. But the other thing we see, usually it's a high ANA, and that can be lupus, that can be mixed connective tissue disorder. So there's other systems that could be affected. So you want to, and here we go. It doesn't really matter if something else is being attacked. And why? Because we're going to do the exact same thing. For any of you guys that were on my autoimmune webinar last week, or was that the week before? Time flies. I think that was last week. The autoimmune webinar, we talked for an hour and 45 minutes. And so in there, I went through all these different reasons why people get autoimmune conditions, and then went through, okay, this is what you need to do to actually make those changes. And so whether it's Sjogren's or lupus or RA or MS or whatever, it doesn't matter. We've got to just fix these underlying whys. So even if we don't know what else is being attacked, we're going to calm that down anyway. So again, if you guys guys are dealing with health issues, click that link in the bio down below. Send us a DM, whatever you can do to get a hold of us. Schedule that discovery call. We'll sit down, we'll go over exactly how you can get the help that you need anywhere in the country. We can drop ship that blood kit if you can get to the Colorado or Tennessee offices. We would love to do a brain map, love to run that blood work, everything else in there. And let's see what else. Candida, question mark. So Candida, yes. Candida, you know, back in the 90s, that was a really big term in the whole natural health space. Like everybody had Candida. It was a yeast issue. And so everyone tried to kill off yeast. And so, yes, Candida can be an issue. You know, look at your tongue. If you've got this white coating on the tongue, then there's a very good chance that you're going to be dealing with some type of a yeast overgrowth. There are, you know, vaginal infections. If you've got chronic gas, bloating, there's a good chance that's there. But that's really narrow focused on, oh, it's a Candida thing. But why would we get Candida? Well, our good bacteria is down. We've got bad bacteria. We've got that microbiome is all out of whack. And so it's about killing bad things off. I love the oil of oregano. Brittany, if you want to pop that in the link down below, we've got oil of oregano. My top 3 supplements, it's one of the top ones I ever use. And so we kill it off, we build it back up, and we go from there. So let me know if you guys have used oil of oregano. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. It's an amazing product. So I have another question here. I'm anemic, B12 deficient, vitamin D deficient, diabetic, type 2, hypertension, high cholesterol, triglycerides, arthritis, fatty liver, gallbladder removed, brain fog, and I know there has to be an underlying condition or disease. So Luann, here's the deal. When we're talking about, I mean, that's a big list, right? Let me know. That might be the biggest list of the day, right? But here's the underlying condition. And I guarantee you, if we get this fixed, if I put a continuous glucose monitor on you, and we did that for 3 months, which is what you get when you work with us, you get a 3-month supply of a continuous glucose monitor. It's amazing what you learn from that. If I gave you a continuous glucose monitor, we did work on the liver, we did work on your inflammation, helped your brain get some more blood flow in there, I guarantee you that fatty liver would start going away, your triglycerides would come down, your cholesterol would get better, your diabetes would go from full diabetic to not even diabetic. Those things, we see it all the time. That's the easy stuff. The underlying condition, Luann, is your blood sugar issue, your metabolic syndrome, your insulin resistance, your whatever it is. It's what you're putting in your mouth, and we can change that. We can figure out what needs to be done, and we can see those massive changes. So send us a direct message. I'm excited, Luann. That would, you know, literally in the first 30 days, you would be feeling dramatically different. Sugar is bad. Yeah, sugar's kind of the devil there. Can checking for cortisol at 3 p.m. be fine? My doc ordered it at the a.m. before 9. Sure, but you just have to look at where it would be in that scale, Gabby. So sorry amount of questions I have. No worries. Let's see what else. I suffer from terrible RA, rheumatoid arthritis. That's, yeah, grandma gets that little knuckle that starts going like that, gets big. I've seen people, their elbows start getting attacked. They can't bend it anymore. It can go into their wrists, all types of different places. But RA is an autoimmune condition that is attacking its own tissue. It's attacking its joints, just like my mom had MS and she healed from that. Just like our patients with ulcerative colitis, that they heal from those, and lupus and all these different things. It is an autoimmune disease attacking its own joints, and so you have to stop why it's attacking itself. Why is it attacking its own tissue? And that's what we look at with RA or MS or lupus or Sjogren's or any of these autoimmune conditions. So Brittany, pop a link down to my video on autoimmune there, but we look at adrenals, we look at blood sugar, we look at vitamin D levels that need to be up at 80, we look at leaky gut, estrogenic events, we look at any type of infections, environmental toxins, all types of different things that could drive that immune system to go haywire. So yes, RA, absolutely treatable, fixable. You know, depends on the joint. Sometimes it's so far gone, damaged, it may never work like normal, but you can absolutely stop that destruction that's going on without taking some heavy-duty immunosuppressant. So if you're not getting the answers, click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. I would love to talk to you about it. Carolyn, I have Sjogren's. It can cause stomach, heart, other organs. Yes, it can, but I'm going to say, Carolyn, that might even be that it spills over into lupus, and there's other, that's when it gets into, what really is being attacked. Well, there's other, and whether it's a named autoimmune or not. Yes, Sjogren's, again, can spill into other types of autoimmune conditions. The average person, if they have one, they have multiple. So, no sugar at all. Oregano and garlic works best to kill candida. What was the oil supplement you said? Yeah, so Nancy, Brittany just put that down below. Thank you. And is watermelon a bad sugar? I love that. Bradley and Athena. So here's the deal. I just talked to another patient last night. She's wearing her continuous glucose monitor, 170 after watermelon. I've seen 180, 185. Watermelon literally is like the worst food that somebody can eat for blood sugar. It's crazy. It's worse than bananas. It's worse than pineapple. All these different watermelon. It must just be like straight sugar water, and you're just drinking, 5 tablespoons of sugar. It's crazy. I've never met a patient that can eat watermelon without it driving up that that blood sugar. So it's watermelon. For most people, is a bad sugar because it drives that up. Hey, Jamie, great to see you. Quick question. My CGM transmitter died. Do you need a new one? When that happens, do I just call office? Yeah, just shoot us over a message, call. You can text that number you get the reminders at from us. You can just text that one. I don't remember what happens with the transmitters and all that, but yeah, just shoot that over. Send us a message on that one, Jamie. But I hope you are doing great. Good to see you, and give me updates how things are going. Awesome. Okay, and I have other genetic disorders. I just caught this. I no longer have a doctor. Can you go up and see my question? Daisy, go ahead and ask that one again. I'll get to it. I have Crohn's, fibromyalgia, and psoriatic arthritis. Okay, here's the deal. Crohn's, autoimmune. Fibromyalgia, it's really going to be autoimmune. Psoriatic arthritis, autoimmune. So again, in the bio there, if you're on TikTok, in the bio, click on that one, and there's a recording of an autoimmune webinar that I did last week, and the first 45, 50 minutes is great. It goes through all of these different things. Again, you've got to calm down the adrenals. You've got to get the blood sugar stabilized between 85 and 110. You've got to get the vitamin D up to 80. You've got to make sure there's no infections. You've got to work on that leaky gut, all these different things. And then you go in and go, okay, I have Crohn's, so I need to heal up that gut lining. I need to calm down that irritation. I have fibromyalgia. I need to take some turmeric. I need to calm down inflammation. I have psoriatic arthritis. We need to do some things to start healing up that skin, etc. So I have scleroderma, RA, GERD, and Raynaud's. So look at this, guys. You see all these people, they're writing in and they have multiple autoimmune conditions. So if somebody has Sjogren's, sure, it's not just going to be their eyes and their mouth that are being attacked. It is so much other stuff. Hey, Jamie, thank you. Doing so good. Graves test keeps getting better and better. Awesome. Jamie's been through the program, and she did amazing and just did everything she needed to do and followed direction just like she needed, and she's doing awesome. So great job, Jamie. I have spontaneous hives. They call that candida. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that just spontaneous hives are candida. Again, spontaneous hives can come from a lot of different things. They can come from this inflammatory process. They can come from food allergies. They can come from even this inflammatory process stimulated by blood sugar swings, a lot of different things. Can you cure allergies naturally, Darla? Dog dander, pollen, some of those things. So here's the deal. Think about it this way. You've got this symptom line. If anything, if you get driven above that symptom line, anything makes you go over, you are going to have symptoms of allergies. But if you can pull down like 15 different things, so let's say you got 20 irritants, so your adrenals are off and you're inflamed and you're stressed and you've got leaky gut and you're eating dairy and all these different things, and it's stacking up, and it doesn't take much dog dander, whatever, to go over that line. What you need to do is deal with all of these other things, and so that you would have to put your face in the dog and totally breathe everything in, and then it might be enough to push you over that. But right now, you've got, I guarantee you, darling, you've got a lot of other things that are stacking you up, getting you close to that symptom line, so you've got to pull that back. Lemon water and coffee up the rear end. Yep, we can do that. Let me go back here. Oop, I jumped ahead. Yes, when I control my blood sugar, I feel great. Yeah, Lori. Here's the deal. I love the thought that people are like, well, if you have type 2 diabetes and then you get your blood sugar down, you're just controlling your blood sugar. You're just controlling your type 2 diabetes. Well, guess what? I control my diabetes every day. I've never had diabetes, but because of the way I eat, I control my blood sugar, and ultimately I control my diabetes because I'm keeping it in the right range. You want to keep your blood sugar controlled 85 to 110. On the 14th of this month, I have a 5-part series masterclass all on blood sugar, everything you could ever want to know, highs, lows, inflammation, brain, all these different things. It's going to be free, and it's going to be 1 hour for 5 days in a row. We'll be getting links up. I'll be getting you guys information on that. Hey, Joel and Iowa, good to see you. And so that one, we're going to get so in depth into the blood sugar. I'm so excited for that. It's like my whole career kind of condensed into this 5-part series. So super excited there. And what do you do with neuropathy? So here's the deal. You've got to figure out why you have neuropathy in the first place. So is that, and here's some of the main reasons. Is it because of blood sugar? That's one of the most common. So if you have diabetic neuropathy, if your blood sugar and insulin are too high and it's damaging nerves, you're going to get neuropathy. Did you have chemo? And is it from chemo that you're having this neuropathy? Is it because of some type of nerve compression, if it's in your feet, in your lumbar spine? Is the nerve being compressed? Or is it just idiopathic, which is, I don't know. And so here's the deal. You have to first figure out why you have neuropathy, and then once you figure that out, you've got to fix. So if it is a blood sugar issue, you've got to fix that. Otherwise, there's no amount you can spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on these neuropathy programs, and that some of them work. They've got these machines, we've used them before with patients, that stimulate nerve regeneration, nerve rebuilder, all types of different things. And so it can definitely be a helpful thing there, but you've got to stop why it's damaging first. Just like I've written 2 books. My brain book is Rebuild Your Brain. Stop the damage, start the repair. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to stop damaging the brain, stop damaging the nerves, but start rebuilding it. And that's the important part that I'm looking at, is you've got to figure out why we've got that neuropathy. Scleroderma, RA, GERD, and Raynaud's. So here's the deal. I guarantee you there's gut issues. You've got leaky gut. We've got to stabilize your blood sugar. All that stuff is stoppable. That autoimmune is stoppable, and some of it is going to be reversible. So again, click the link in the bio. Schedule that discovery call if you guys are on Facebook or YouTube. Click the DM button there, and we would love to hear from you. And oh, Darla, I'm a dog groomer. Yeah, that's a tough one. So you got your allergies. Okay, is prolotherapy, prolozone treatment utilized? We do not do those. We've done stem cell injections in the past, but and had great success with that. But we don't do a lot on the structural side like that. But I do have some people that we could refer you to if you need more information on that. Just send us a DM. I wonder how many people with arthritis and fibromyalgia might be chronic Lyme. Is it hard to detect chronic Lyme by testing? So 2 things, Robin. Yes, a lot of people have chronic Lyme. A lot of people have Lyme. Is it driving fibromyalgia, some other things? Yes. Is it like 90%? No. People are like, oh, Lyme causes MS. I go, well, in some people maybe. In my mom, she had MS for a couple of years and then got a tick bite and got Lyme and then had antibiotics and all that. And so, she had MS before she had Lyme. So it's not that, oh, everybody with MS has Lyme and vice versa. There is definitely an issue with Lyme. Lyme is hard to detect. It's not an easy test. There's no 100% perfect Lyme test. We have some that we use, and it's usually pretty good, but it is not a perfect science there. And Jesus, thanks for the share. is a symptom of Sjogren's when a person's fingers turn white when temps are extreme cold. So Sjogren's is more about the mouth and the eyes getting really dry. What you're talking about is Raynaud's. But if you look at what people are commenting, they have Raynaud's and they have this and they have that and they have that. So Raynaud's is another type of autoimmune in there. It goes along with Sjogren's, with lupus, with some of these other autoimmune conditions. So it is not Sjogren's, but again, it doesn't really matter. It's the same thought process that we have to fix all these different systems and get them dialed in. Vitamin B12 for neuropathy, potentially, if it's a B12 need, that can be part of it. You could try it. It's maybe 50-50, but a lot of people, that's not going to fix that issue. What about Crohn's and what you eat? So absolutely, Crohn's is affected by what you eat. And what does that mean? Well, it's not necessarily that it's irritating the gut, because a lot of Crohn's is actually autoimmune. It's this inflammatory process that's already going on. And so what we have to do is we've got to go through anyways and start pulling out any potential food allergens, gluten, corn, soy, dairy. We've got to look at healing up that gut lining, killing off the bad stuff, bringing in good stuff, maybe some enzymes or stomach acid, but also look at the whole body as far as potential autoimmune and the body stimulating itself to attack its gut. So Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, some of those, even though they're autoimmune, we know we're going to be working the gut anyways with autoimmune, but then we just do even more so that way. And we've had lots of patients, just had one come in, one of my favorite patients of all time. He was going literally 30 times a day to the bathroom. He was in college. He just went and got his master's because he couldn't even go into the workforce and was just super, super bad off. Anxiety all the time because he didn't know if he's going to be able to leave the house, whatever. And he just got a job. He's going to be teaching full-time in Denver. He is down 40 pounds. He feels great. His brain is great. If he does what he needs to do, he's perfect. Please share that link. If you could get that, will I live? I hope you'll live. I have dermatomyosis. That skin and muscle thing. Okay, yeah, so anyways, Denise, same thought process. You've got to get to the underlying whys. That is the diagnosis. You can't treat a diagnosis. You can't fix a diagnosis. You can fix why that body is out of balance. And that's what we're looking at here is how do we go through and get these systems fixed? Is it your gut? Is it your liver? Is it your adrenals? Is it your thyroid? Is it your brain? What is actually going on? That's how any of these conditions, you've got to think about that. And that's why we do the blood work like we do. We go in depth into looking at each one of those systems and inflammation and autoimmune and hormones and adrenals, all these different things. And then you go, okay, well now let's move our feet. You've got 7 systems off. Let's fix them. And then things like the dermatomyositis are going to go away. I haven't seen a dermatomyositis this week or this month or this year, and yet it's the same thought process. Fix what you find. Gail from Georgia, good to see you. I have IBS with diarrhea. Yeah, just like the guy I was just telling you about that's getting the full-time teaching job now. He was going 30 times a day. I've got another patient. He's going to take my boys up hunting this year. He took them rifle hunting last year. He's taking them archery hunting this year. He was going 20 times a day. Felt horrible. Couldn't even hardly function. And yet it can reverse. It can get better. It can repair so much. Reach out, Gail. We would love to help you with that. Joel, my doctor said I have lymphedema. Is there foods that I shouldn't eat or drink, and what's best to eat? Yes. You've got this inflammatory process going on. Lymphedema, just like any other thought process. Well, what foods are going to be more inflammatory, and what foods are going to be better? So when you think about, let's look at fats and oils. Fish oil, flaxseed oil, butter, coconut oil, some of those saturated fats. Those are going to be better on the anti-inflammatory side. And then the other side, when you start talking about vegetable oils, corn, soy, safflower, sunflower, a lot of these vegetable-based oils are going to be very actually inflammatory. And they're going to drive this prostaglandin pathway that is going to stimulate inflammation in the body. So you've got to first, Joel, I would focus on getting all the good fats in, all the bad fats out, and start there. Start looking at the foods that you're eating that way. And then I would get all grains out. And those are going to be more inflammatory as well. Robin, thank you for all you do. You are so welcome. Glad you're on. Love having you here. And we go live every Thursday morning with Q&A. So bring your questions, tell your friends, family, whoever, and I'll go as long as I need to. I could probably be here all day. So are you able to get rid of lupus Sjogren's altogether, or does it put it into remission? That's a great question. So here's the deal. Let me tell you guys a story. When I was a junior in high school, my mom collapsed at one of my football games, and people were like, oh my gosh, what's the matter? Her legs aren't working. They had to carry her to the car, get her home. Over the next couple months, they figured out that she had MS. Got to the point where my senior year, she went on disability. She was teacher of the year, did amazing. Would leave at 5:30 in the morning, get home at 5:30 at night. Great papers, 2 hours a night. Any teachers you out there, you guys understand. And yet she burned herself out. She got MS. They put her on the meds. They gave her a cane. She ended up getting a wheelchair. At Walmart, she'd have to use the little go-kart to zip around. And we thought, well, that's going to be it. She's in this downward spiral. We talked to Mayo. We went all these places, and they're like, you know what? It'll be, she'll kind of go into this this remission type state where it's not getting bad, and then she'll have a flare up and do this, and it'll just keep going down, 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 and then she'll die. And so we're like, well, that stinks. She's like, 49. Who wants that as a life? And I'm like, I want her to see my grandkids and all these things, or her grandkids wanted to see my kids. And so fortunately, my dad retired. They moved down to the Ozarks in Missouri, found this great doc, and he started doing this, even before it was called functional medicine, started reversing a lot of these issues and getting to the underlying root cause of why she had MS. To the point where she gave away her wheelchair, she gave away her cane, she got off all the medication, and her last MRI, probably 20 years ago with her neurologist, showed no more plaquing. And her neurologist was like, if you're on this drug, if you're on this new drug, and we would have said, hey, you're in this trial, it was a success, but you're not on anything, so I don't know what to call it. So now she's 79 years old. She does granny boot camp. She takes my kids fishing out in a float tube. She'll paddle around the lake. She can do more than most 50-year-olds, and she doesn't have MS anymore. So here's the deal. This is Boxer Mom 2X. Is her MS in remission? Well, sure. Is it ever going to come back? I doubt it. And if she went and did everything that she had done before, maybe. But here's the deal. The body can stop attacking its own tissue. It can heal. I've got multiple patients that have had the same story with their MS that are now able to function and don't have MS and don't have autoimmune anymore and are not attacking their tissue. So, here's the thought process. Can you get rid of lupus or Sjogren's altogether, or does it put it in remission? You can calm down your autoimmune reaction. You can calm down that enough so that it does not attack its own tissue. Your body can start healing whatever, whether that's the dry eyes, dry mouth, organs, whatever it is, your body can start healing. Just like my mom healed her myelin sheath and she doesn't have plaquing anymore, and we have multiple patients that have the same story. So how does that happen? How are you able to, well, you've got to go through, click the link in the bio. We've got a link in there. And in that one, it's the autoimmune workshop. You can look through that one, learn a whole lot through there. But my feeling, and this is because I've seen it with patients, I've seen it with my wife, I've seen it with my mom, people can heal from autoimmune. People can stop the damage that's going on with their immune system. Yeah, there you go. Give me another heart there. I mean, it's miraculous what the body can do. And if they do what they need to do, they never have to have an autoimmune condition again. But here's the deal. If you go back and do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always done. So sure, if somebody puts into remission and then they go and they eat poorly again and they stress and they get another infection and their blood sugar's off and all of those things, then heck yeah, you've got to go back and probably do the same thing that you did before. So yeah, there you go. That's my little rant there. So sorry. Diagnosed with mixed connective tissue disorder, later changed to lupus. However, ANA sometimes is normal. So here's the deal, Fox, Georgia, Peach. It doesn't matter. I don't care whether it's MCT, mixed connective tissue disorder, lupus, Sjogren's, RA, whatever they want to call it. It's the same thought process. Just like my mom, how she healed from MS, just like how my massage therapist patient from Wyoming healed from MS, just like my patient that now she does these mailer things for marketing and local advertising and things. She was not able to work. She got fired because of her MS. There's a video on YouTube if you want to put that one up, Brittany, where she talked about she had just come back from her neurologist. This was a couple years ago, and he's like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because you have less plaquing, and some of them are actually gone. And she's working full time, and this is years later. So it doesn't matter what autoimmune condition it is, your body can heal. And that's what I want you to think about. We don't suppress it. We don't say, ooh, stop immune system from attacking itself. Yes, Cynthia, send the DM to Brittany. Oh, there you go. I think, is that it, Brittany? So yeah, send Cynthia the DM for the autoimmune seminar, and we can get that one done. All right, so single origin sunflower oil. So sunflower oil, same thing. It's going to be more inflammatory. It's going to drive. It's an omega-6 fat, and it's going to drive more inflammation. What causes fluid around the heart? I'd look at inflammatory processes in the body. I would stabilize blood sugar, number one, and almost guarantee that inflammation and fluid around the heart is going to change there. So thanks for the roses there. Love that. Do you work with Lyme patients and co-infections? Yes. So my thought, I've had Lyme, my wife's had Lyme, my mom's had Lyme. I've trained with Dr. Klinghardt, lots of different things, and yet I know that there's not just one more kill-off that's going to work, one more antibiotic, one more natural kill-off. The biggest thing that I do with Lyme patients is get the body as strong as possible, and that's going to do more than any magic kill-off, especially on a long-term chronic Lyme patient. I don't have any feeling in my right foot. So Pamela, you've got to figure out why you don't have any feeling in that right foot. Is that a circulation issue? So there's different. So check for capillary refill. Is that where it's coming from, or is it more of a neuropathy thing? Could it be from a compression of a nerve in your lumbar spine? If you haven't had an MRI, you might need to do that. You've got to figure out why. What can be done to treat Sjogren's? So again, how do we treat Sjogren's? We don't treat Sjogren's. Sure, you can. I can teach you how to stimulate those little cells in your eyes that are going to make it more lubricated. You can suck on lemons and get your mouth to salivate. You can do things like that. But ultimately, you've got to stop damaging your tissue. You've got to stop the autoimmune reaction. That's how you treat Sjogren's, is by taking a step back and stop the damage from going on. I've been in contact with someone at your, let's see. Okay, I've been in contact with someone at your facility and getting a call from the doctor today. Looking forward to getting answers. Shelly, awesome. So excited to talk to you. So again, we've got offices in Colorado, offices in Tennessee, and then our doctors work remotely with patients all over the country, all over the world. We can ship blood work anywhere in this country as well. And I read that people with autoimmune also may have Epstein-Barr. Do you feel this could be true? Absolutely. If you just do a quick Google search of Epstein-Barr virus and autoimmune, there'll be tons of research coming out showing that there's like these top 8 autoimmune conditions that are driven by Epstein-Barr virus. And so what is that? Well, that virus is enough to drive this autoimmune reaction. It can even change some genetics. And so people with chronic EBV, a lot of times it can spill over into MS, into RA, juvenile RA, type 1 diabetes, things like that. Is CellCept good? So again, fix the why. You may need to take some medication short term, but CellCept is not going to fix anything. You got to fix why. Gabapentin for neuropathy because it's not helping my mom. Probably not. Some people use gabapentin. I'm not a huge fan of it. I haven't seen great results from it. But here's the deal. Kimmy, you've got to fix why your mom has neuropathy in the first place. Is it a nerve damage issue from a lumbar spine compression? Is it from diabetes and blood sugar imbalances? You've got to fix that. What is the GOT? I'm not sure what you mean there. What is the GOT on a blood test? Are you saying GGT, not GOT? So if it's GGT, I love GGT. So GGT is a liver marker that is going to tell us about potential fatty liver. If your GGT is over 20, you're creeping into fatty liver, and that's usually because of blood sugar, that's because of insulin resistance, that's because your triglycerides are too high, all of that stuff. How much is a blood kit? It's about, what, $240, I think, Brittany, and then it's about $100 to sit down and talk to one of our doctors. So we'll sit down, we'll do one visit where we'll go over all of your history, and then another visit where we'll actually review that blood work line by line by line. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. We'll go through that whole process with you, and at that blood work, we'll let you know exactly which systems are out of balance and where you need to go with it. Suggestions, top 5 items to reduce inflammation. So I'm not going to tell you 5 things to take, I'm going to tell you 5 things to do. 1, stabilize your blood sugar between 85 and 110, all day, every day, fasting, non-fasting, whatever it is. Number 2, you're not going to eat grains ever again. If you truly want to get rid of your inflammation, don't eat grains ever again. You need to exercise, but you need to exercise in a way that stimulates the body but doesn't go too much. Some people are actually over-exercising. A lot of people that exercise, over-exercise. So you need to keep that heart rate 180 minus your age, and you need to go long enough to where you feel good, but not to where you're getting tired. You need to change your mental state, number 4, and get out of that fight or flight. And so if that means you gotta get a brain map and do neurofeedback, if that means you gotta pray more, you gotta go out in the woods, relaxation techniques, breathing, whatever it is, you've got to get your brain out of that fight or flight because that's going to drive that inflammation as well. And then let's see what else could we think about taking out or doing differently for number 5. Working on your gut. This is where probably 90% of inflammation comes, if it's internal, is from that digestive tract and from leaky gut. So you've got to go through the 4 R's. You've got to kill off bad stuff, remove the bad stuff, remove any type of food allergens, gluten, corn, soy, dairy. You've got to repair that gut lining, marshmallow root, aloe vera juice, bone broth, glutamine, all those type of things. You've got to re-inoculate with probiotics, and then you've got to replace any enzyme, stomach acid, things like that. So how'd that one do? You guys like that? What kind of doctor helps treat Sjogren's? So here's the deal. You can go to a rheumatologist, and that rheumatologist is going to give you some type of an immunosuppressant. Immunosuppressants are, short-term, they could be lifesavers for somebody, but for Sjogren's, absolutely not. Because all it's going to do, you can take prednisone, Humira, $10,000 a month, methotrexate, which is low-dose chemo, and it's going to suppress that immune system so that it won't have enough oomph to attack itself. Okay, so you're like, okay, great. Well, that sounds good. Well, long term, that's not fixing anything. If anything, it's causing way more other problems. So what kind of doctor? You need to go to a functional medicine doctor. That's what we do here at FA. We help find the underlying root causes of why that body's attacking itself, calm those down so that the body stops attacking itself naturally as opposed to trying to suppress it. So, I read that people with autoimmune, okay, I can't remember her name. I spoke to Brienne yesterday, I believe. Yep, Brienne is awesome. Fight or flight, yes. The first thing I did when I diagnosed with Hashis was made an appointment with a therapist to get help with previous traumas. I really feel like this is the first step for me. Yeah, absolutely. If somebody is in a chronic fight or flight state, I see it all the time with autoimmune conditions. Almost every single patient, when we run a brain map, we see in that brain map this fight or flight state all the time. So it just goes nonstop. Does that go for eating sunflower seeds as well? So no, sunflower seeds is not going to be as bad as the sunflower oil. I wouldn't do tons of them. I wouldn't be like, oh, I eat sunflower seeds nonstop. But you know, if you're doing a little bit here or there throughout the week. Hey, Michelle, good morning. Feeling great up here in Estes Park. Thanks for all you do. Absolutely. I might go up to Rocky Mountain tomorrow, Michelle. I'll wait when I drive by, see if I can get a pass tonight at 5 o'clock. If any of you guys have been to Rocky Mountain National Park, you've got to like do this pass thing in the summer and call ahead and schedule some time. All right, get all greens out. I'm assuming you're saying grains. Get all grains out, sugar. What do you eat? So here's what I eat. Today I had 4 eggs for breakfast, a bunch of kale and Swiss chard from my greenhouse. Shout out to my 18-year-old Dylan. A couple years ago, at 16, he made me this awesome greenhouse. He's a great kid. And so did that, had some avocado on there, had some fat, put some sauce, I can't remember what salsa, whatever it was on there. Lunch, I've got some mixed vegetables that I had left over. I put in some bratwurst, some all-natural bratwurst that we put in there, and put in some fat for dinner. It'll be a similar thing, some meat and vegetables, and that's it. And I know my blood sugar is going to stay like that all day long. And this energy I have right now, I'm going to have it at noon, I'm going to have it at 3 o'clock. I have a softball game tonight at 7:15, and by 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm going to be ready for bed. But until then, it's going to be rocking it. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, Candy. Where's the link for the blood work? So yeah, if you're on TikTok, click that link in the bio, and there's a couple links in there that talk about the blood work. One, the easiest way to do it is just schedule that discovery call, and we can sit down and talk to you in depth there. So Sue, again, the blood work. We're looking at but all my favorite markers: ferritin, GGT, C-reactive protein, non-fasting insulin, all these things that I talk about that I run on myself, that I run on every one of our patients. We also get autoimmune markers, ANA, rheumatoid factor, we get Hashimoto's markers, full thyroid, all the hormones, adrenals, inflammatory, tons of different things. This test literally is almost $3,000 if you walk down the street to the lab here in Fort Collins. How do I know that? We've got patients that are like, oh, I'll just do it there, and it comes back $3,000. So we're like, you know what? We're not gonna let people do that anymore. We've got cash prices set up. It's a couple $100, about $230, I think, and we can then sit down with you for about another $100 on top of that, and with one of my F8 doctors, and sit down with you and go over exactly what you have going on and where those imbalances are. Been sick since first grade, Arizona Brie. Nobody has answers. Let's get a blood panel done. A few $100, we can sit down, see if there's anything going on that can help in the functional medicine world. That's what we do all the time. Shelley, should your blood sugar in the morning also be at 85 or a little above? I fast a lot and notice that sometimes mine is in the upper 70s. It should be 85 to 110 all day long, whether you're fasting, non-fasting, eating, not eating, night, morning, whatever. If you're in the 70s, you're going a little bit low, and that could definitely be part of that problem. Hey, Amy, good to see you. What are you guys up to? Haven't seen you in a long time. What do you think of peptides? For some people, depends on the condition. Peptides can absolutely be helpful. What are you thinking of using it for, Amy? Let me know. I'll answer that one. It's from a ruptured disc. Yeah. So Pamela, if you've got numb foot from a ruptured disc, you got to fix that first. There's no amount of nerve regeneration, anything else that's going to happen. You've got to fix that, whether that's surgery, disc replacement, traction, whatever you got to do, stem cells. You got to fix that, and then you can start healing that nerve. What type of doctor are you? you. So we do functional medicine. So this is really about getting to the root cause of what's going on. We don't just prescribe a bunch of drugs, do a bunch of surgery, and go through their offices in Central Arkansas, Peggy. No, we've had multiple patients come over to the Nashville office from Arkansas. So you can do it that way, or we can drop ship blood kit to you locally and come up with a game plan from there. This was Barbara. I'm not a believer in all these ideas. Eat a piece, it won't kill you. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know even what to say about that. But thanks for joining us, Barbara. Good morning. I just had an exam done for insurance purposes. It indicates positive for leukocyte screening, my white blood cells. I did have COVID in December. Could my white blood cells be high still? Yeah, so here's what you want to do. You want to look at lymphocytes. And if they're over 38%, it's a viral infection. If it's neutrophils over 58%, that's bacterial infection. Then we just narrow it down and go from there. But usually if somebody has a high white blood cell count, then that is absolutely going to be more of a acute infection. Your body definitely is going on. Amy, weight loss, I would not say that peptides would be the first place to go for the weight loss. Figure out your blood sugar, Amy. If your blood sugar is not where it needs to be, 85 to 110 all day long, get that first, and then you can see. Is it possible for people diagnosed with heart failure and stenosis to avoid statins? Yeah, so statins, there's really no research showing that statins help those things. And I'm not telling you to go against what your doctor's saying. I'm just giving you some statistics here. But statins, cholesterol medications, cholesterol is not the cause of cardiovascular disease. Cholesterol goes up, it's primarily because of blood sugar imbalances. If you fix your blood sugar, your cholesterol goes down, your inflammation goes down, all these other things. So I'm gonna simplify it down, Lynette. Get your blood sugar stabilized, get a continuous glucose monitor like every one of our new patients that we start care with gets, and you're going to be able to get your cholesterol down, you're going to be able to get your inflammation down, all types of different things. Hey there, Jezel. I have a positive ANA, below normal white blood cell count, hypothyroid. Any thoughts on what it might be? So here's the deal. Below normal white blood cell count is a chronic immune system issue. Look at which infection is up. If your lymphocytes are up over 38%, it's probably chronic viral infection, probably chronic Epstein-Barr virus. Driving that autoimmune hypothyroid, you have to check for Hashimoto's, TPO, and thyroglobulin. We test for all of these things in our blood work. So if your doctor won't check you for Hashimoto's, you need to know. So you're stimulating this autoimmune reaction in your body. You're driving this inflammatory state and causing your body to go haywire and attack its own tissue. Almost guarantee you've got Hashimoto's, one type or the other, TPO or thyroglobulin, attacking the thyroid or the transportation system. What's the topic? We're talking Q&A here. So does your clinic take Medicare? So here's the deal. Medicare will pay for medications. They'll pay for surgeries. They'll pay for emergencies, like if you pass out or if you collapse and need to go to the hospital, whatever. They'll pay for all that stuff. But will they pay to get you better? Will they pay to fix? Will they pay to reverse or prevent? No. So unfortunately, Medicare, they're not into what we do. And I'm not really into what Medicare does either. What do we eat? Candy. That's pretty funny. Your name is Candy Kiss 2020. What do we eat? It's not candy. So what do I eat? I eat primarily protein, vegetables, good fats, and drink lots of water. Do you have clients in Ireland or doctors you work with here that I could get in touch with? Yes, we can work with you in Ireland. Depends on where you are. We may need you to get blood work done locally, but then we can work with you that way. So click the link in the bio, schedule a discovery call, and we can talk you through that process. Jezel, no grains, then what will I eat? Well, if you're vegetarian, you should eat vegetables. You should eat fruit. So here, I was just talking to a patient yesterday. She's like, yeah, when I went vegetarian a bunch of years ago, it was just really, I quit eating meat and I didn't eat, I was a non-vegetable eating vegetarian. So Jezel, easy. you're going to put a continuous glucose monitor on, and you're going to keep that blood sugar between 85 and 110, and you eat what you need to eat. And if that means you have to eat some animal fat or some animal protein, then so it goes. But ultimately, you've got to keep that stabilized, because some vegetarians are some of the sickest people I have worked on, because they're doing it incorrectly, and they're that same thought process. They're eating a lot of grains. What's your thoughts on magnesium and diabetes? Magnesium's not going to fix diabetes. I love magnesium. I don't like diabetes, but they're not like this. So what's going to fix diabetes is stabilizing your blood sugar between 85 and 110 all day long. I'll post a picture where we took a patient from 12.5 on their A1C down to 8 in 3 months, and she's still going down and probably going to be in the 6s next time we run it, and she's going to reverse her diabetes. That wasn't from magnesium, that wasn't from cinnamon, that wasn't from alpha lipoic acid, that wasn't from NAC or whatever thing that you can think of that you've read about that can help diabetes. That was from wearing a CGM, figuring out what foods make it go up, what foods make it go down, doing liver support, going through the gut, all of these different things. All right. And let's go here. Let's see what else we got for question. Hi, Dr. Ben. I love my CGM. Margaret, good to see you. Hey, thanks for that email and that link you sent. You love your CGM. It is pretty darn cool. Continuous glucose monitor. You get to see what that blood sugar is doing all day long, all night long, 24/7. Flip your phone. You can look at the last 24 hours and go, and you want it flatline. If it's doing this, up, down, up, down, up, down, that is not good. Sharon, my doctor is monitoring the thickening of the lining of the uterus. She wants to do a hysterectomy. What is causing that? And the thyroids. I would start looking at inflammatory processes in the body. I would look at blood sugar. I would look at anything that could be driving inflammation in your body, and that would be the first place. Excuse me. That would be the first place to go, would be to start calming down that inflammation. Look at your hormones. Maybe you've got too much estrogen and your liver's not clearing it out like it needs to. So that would be the next place to go. Isn't that keto? No. So I do not eat keto. Keto is 70% fat. And I don't eat 70% fat. That's almost impossible to do long term. And so keto is not what I do. I rarely recommend that. Maybe if somebody's got seizures, some specific things, brain injuries, some stuff like that. But otherwise, keto is not the place to go. I'm not in ketosis. I know what that feels like. I've done that before. I'm not in ketosis. And yet, I eat very little grain, and not a lot of potatoes, things like that. But here's the fun part is, I could if I want. And if you have a continuous glucose monitor on, you can see, and some people, sweet potato is bad, but white potato is actually okay for them. And so that's the fun part about knowing, is that you don't have to eat like I eat forever. You can add some grain back in, you can add some potato back in, or some squash, or whatever it is, but you know exactly what to do. Do you take clients from Canada? Yes, we can do that. And thanks for the good information. One in flight, you are welcome. Once blood work is done, are we forced into proceeding? Yes. So I actually go to your house, take your arm, twist it, and say, you're going to proceed. No, of course not. One, we may not even want to work with you, and you might not be a good candidate. You might not want to take supplements or change your diet or do a cleanse or wear your continuous glucose monitor or poke your finger, whatever it is. So first of all, I may not want to work with you. And so, to force somebody into proceeding, that's ridiculous. That's the last thing that I want to do. I may not want to work with you because your spouse is not going to be supportive and you're not going to get the care that you want. So the first thing is, are you a good candidate for care? And does your blood work show that it's something that we can actually help with? And then we could even talk about that. After all that, then we can say, okay, this is what you need to be doing. And if you want to do it, great. If not, so it goes. All right. And is 19 a high white blood cell? And why isn't my doctor giving me anything? I like white blood cells 5 to 8. So 19, absolutely high. That is a major, major infection. You need some medical support there. This sounds great. I'm a corporate flight attendant. Joints ache a bit and tire a lot. Exhausting. Absolutely. We've had tons of flight attendants, pilots, a lot of people that live that lifestyle. And yet we can make it work out. I've got one pilot. He actually eats better on the road, in the air, however you say it, than he does when he's at home. So it's pretty cool. If we sign up to get the blood work done, do we get a paper copy of the results for our own personal use? Of course, yeah. Hey, yeah, Margaret, I'm a pro now. Yeah, I mean, how easy is it, right, Margaret? If you get that CGM and you start tracking your blood sugar, I mean, even within weeks, you're able to figure out what to eat and what not to eat. I love that. Are you forced into something? Do you not eat fruits? So I eat fruits that my blood sugar does okay with. Some of our patients, they can eat a bunch of different kinds of fruits. I have some patients that literally their blood sugar, because of their insulin resistance and how they deal with fructose, all that, every single piece of fruit that they eat makes their blood sugar go up. But that's the fun part about this. We don't guess. I don't say you can eat fruit, you can't eat fruit. I say, what does your body tell you can do? And that's what we do. Candy's my real name. That's pretty funny. Thanks, Candy. So far, blood work is great. Yes, what are good foods on the run? Yeah, and so you know, my pilot that does it, he brings a cooler with him, and he goes to Trader Joe's, gets his salads, does different things, and just he knows what to do for his body. Am I keto? Absolutely not. Is alcohol use an absolute no? So here's the deal. Alcohol. Some people, they can drink alcohol and their blood sugar doesn't go up. They can drink a glass of wine and they feel fine the next day and they don't get inflammation. It's not stressing their liver and they're able to get their ring off and all these different things, and they do great. Margaret, so easy, and the app makes it even easier. Yeah, so Margaret, using CGM, she's in the program and, you know, just loving it, able to see so many different things. We have a lot of patients. We give them a 3-month supply of the CGMs. A lot of them go and buy another 3 months just because it is so cool. Okay, now I get why the continuous glucose monitor. Then you can see what all foods are doing to your body and gives you a better idea of what to eat or not. Absolutely. So here's what you want to eat, and this is the food that you eat. You eat food that's going to stabilize your blood sugar. It's not going to get you higher or lower than 85 to 110. No foods that are going to stimulate inflammation, like, oh, I can't get my ring off, you know, because I gained 3 pounds overnight. It's not going to affect your digestion. Your digestion should be, you eat. You have to go to the bathroom, you eat, but you don't feel anything else. No gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, reflux, GERD, diarrhea, constipation. It should look like a peeled banana, that same texture going through. And if it's not, and it's something you're eating, don't do that. Also, anything that is going to cause any type of food allergy, anything like that. So that's what you eat. Anything that's not causing those issues, you're going to be able to eat. Can you do this as a vegetarian? Sure. It's going to look different, and it's going to, I guarantee it's going to be different than what you're eating right now, but absolutely, and you're going to learn so much. If anything, you need to do this more as a vegetarian, because you can't just go keto, you can't go paleo, you can't do any of those things. You are having these issues. I'll be doing my second round of my CGM next week. Love all the information it gives about what works well with my body. Michelle, absolutely. You know, and Wanda, you just said before that, I'm having trouble controlling my blood sugar. So guess what? You know, Wanda said that, and then Michelle just said, I'm getting my second CGM. It is amazing. Shelley, continuous glucose monitor. And so this is the biggest thing, Wanda, is if you know what's making it go up, what's making it go down, then you get to see the miracles. So that's the big thing, Wanda. You slap a CGM on, become one of our patients. We'll work you through the whole process, and it'll be a miracle. And all right, well, here we go. Guys, I gotta jump, but it was great. Every Thursday, we're going to be doing live Q&A, so get on here. I try to go live most days throughout the week as well, certain topics. But here's the deal. Starting next week, today, we're getting that out. If you want to be part of our blood sugar mastery class, I teach you exactly how to poke your finger, how to check your blood sugar, why it goes up, why it goes down, what happens with all these. Everything I've learned over my 20 plus years in practice, you can get on that. Send us a direct message. We can get you a link for that one, or click on there. We're going to have it in the bio on TikTok. And so that is going to be coming out the 14th, 5-day event, 5-hour-long webinars, as much information as I could possibly give out. Amazing. And so with that, I'm just going to hope that everybody in this country, because here's what I truly believe in this country, in this world, if we could stabilize everybody's blood sugar between 85 and 110 all day long, 90% of chronic conditions we could prevent or reverse. Absolutely. Guys, stay strong. If you need support, click that link in the bio, send us a direct message, and I would love to sit down, talk to you guys, come up with a game plan, look at what blood work you need, and figure out exactly where you need to go. But love having you on. Everybody take care, make it a great day, and we will talk soon.